So I got a phone call from my mom saying that she had found a letter addressed to us, and he had written a bit to each of his children. And for me, he said, "You can never lose." I can remember it was a Saturday morning, and I was in Hillcrest opposite the polo fields, and got a phone call, and my mom had said that Dad's not well or whatever it might be, and so I raced down to Interveni Hospital, and you don't think your best friend is going to pass away, you know? I grew up on building sites, watching him do his thing and create these buildings from nothing. To see that come through brick by brick until completion was just amazing for me, and that was my first insight into property. It's just the idea of being able to create something from just an idea. I had watched my dad go through a lot of different phases in life, success right through to failure, and it was sad, and I think I've always had this underdog feeling when it comes to doing business, and it's why I scrap as much as I do, because he taught me the most valuable things that I knew about property, and he taught me what not to do. The knowledge that he imparted was so much more than anything else, and that's the thing with business and in life, you just have to pick it up. I actually wanted to prove something to the world and to my dad that basically I'm going to finish this journey for you, and it doesn't matter if you fail or whatever it might be, as long as you can get back up and try again. Something about the art of selling something which gave me a thrill which I just couldn't find anywhere else. Business was where I found my home, and that was as early as 12 or 13. I saw my dad make a lot of money and then lose everything. Coming from that point and sitting on both sides of the coin essentially gave me context to understand it's not just this bunch of roses, and that in fact if you don't get your shit together, you could end up where we ended up.
So it was about a week in after I first started working with the big box, and for a while I thought the company was just me and Joe. And then a week later, Muzz bursts into the room and he goes, "Zama, you're Zama," and he knows all about me. I think it's very rare that you meet people who really truly believe that they can change the world. But I don't know how many people truly believe that they can do that, and Muzz is definitely one of those people.
At high school, my first business, I started a series of different sports clinics in Standard 8. I thought that as a senior at DHS, there was an opportunity to engage with young schools and offer a 3 to 4 day sports clinic. It was an amalgamation of a whole bunch of things that I loved. After matric, I started to want to get involved with property. I went through the process of building a development from scratch, and I got the chance to spend 12 to 18 months with my dad, and that was amazing. I've got a love for entrepreneurial development, and I want to do more than just create a balance sheet. I wanted to try and amalgamate a love for property and business with my passion for entrepreneurial development, and Big Box came about.
The first interaction I had with Murray was a series of emails that I ignored, and they just kept coming. I ran another business at the time, and I'd gotten these things before, sort of propositions. People had wanted to get involved with us or for us to sort of endorse what they were doing, and I'd never heard of a Murray, but he just kept at it. And despite me ignoring them, I finally said okay and hit reply. 45 minutes later, I was in a coffee shop with a man and started talking to me about this township development that he had been working on. At the time I thought he was trying to sell me real estate, and he started unpacking what Big Box was. His idea sort of sparked something in me.
It gave me the opportunity to build a fundamental platform which would help young people who are in the entrepreneurial space not only run their business but also be educated and be in the synergy of this environment where they can deal with one another but use each other to try and grow together, and that we would provide the back end of a structure which would help finance their business in a very inspirational platform. I've had to learn to deal with myself. For a long time I put work before everything, and life is about trying to find that balance. You can have a passion for something, but you need to have a balance, and if you don't find that balance, it will take its toll one way or another. It's a balancing act.
His tenacity. I think once Murray gets an idea, that idea has to happen, that idea will happen. And I think the tenacity and direction that he's able to apply to a situation is staggering. You know, when other people have hobbies or other things, like business is Murray's hobby.
You know, the thing with entrepreneurship that you've got to ask yourself is firstly what you're passionate about. And if you can build a business around your passion, it just works. And it's hard to build a business with the knowledge that you've got to do everything in your power not to let life get in the way of you. And that's why resilience and persistence are characteristics that you just cannot be without. I'm fortunate enough to have found a love in business. It's given me a tool to be able to express myself, and about a year and a half ago I had to reset myself and say, what is important to me in life? Is it money, or is it finding happiness? And for me, happiness is being able to have made an impact in everyone's lives through that, and I want to be able to give back, and I want to be able to help young guys who are going through the same thing, who don't necessarily have access to a father like I did. We're here for a short time on this earth, and we have a responsibility to try and help, and for me that's just so important.